Welcome to Let's Talk About It with Amy Schreiber, where we talk about life's journey, the real estate market, and everything in between. My name is Amy Schreiber. I am a local realtor in the state of Florida, servicing the Tampa Bay area. I'm joined by my co-host, Katie Easling, and this is our second episode. I'm super excited. How are you, Katie?
Doing great. I'm so excited. As you mentioned, this is our second episode. We're one episode in. Last week, we were introduced to you a little bit more, and we heard about your move from Billings, Montana to Florida. We also got to hear about you and your education and how you dropped out of high school and how that was a catalyst for a tremendous amount of decisions that you were able to make in the future. And it's been really exciting to hear. So today, I know we're talking about something that's really, really important, and I know that a lot of people can relate, but we're talking about how you gave up on a dream.
Yes, yeah. I have always had a love for music, and I can sing. I am talented. I have a good voice, and I have been told at the early age of 4, again, growing up in Billings, Montana, surrounded by a church community. I guess at the age of 4, I would go up in front of the congregation and have a microphone and sing a song, and I guess I could hold a tune back then. But that then took me to, throughout my 16 years, as we talked about last week, throughout my 16 years in Montana, just really learning to love and grow as a singer, right? I remember, singing in church, obviously, singing at school, joining the choirs, having solo parts, talent shows. I was good. And I remember a lot of my choir instructors, would help with range. And I took voice lessons, voice coaching. So that was just something that I really fell in love with and I was good at. Right. And when you're good at something, that normally is your path, or you may think it would be your path. And so, yeah, it was a dream of mine to, sing for a living and whatever that was, right? And so, really growing up in that community allowed me to practice on my gift and really drive me to a future career as a singer. But obviously, that didn't happen.
So tell us more, like what led you to, where were you at in life where you ended up giving up on this? Like what happened?
So, like I said, throughout the 16 years that I was in Billings, I used my voice, right? And I was always validated as, oh my God, it's amazing, you're great, what have you. And I knew I had talent. So then we moved. We moved to Florida, as I mentioned last week, and moving from rural community to that city life, I was really focused on friends, acclimating myself to a new environment that I didn't join choir or anything, right? So that kind of took a seat back. But, I think it must have been shortly after we got to Florida. We went to a theme park and I remember I was so excited. And I don't remember what theme park it was, but they had a recording studio. Yeah, and that was amazing. I had never it recorded, a song, obviously. And so, my parents didn't have a lot of money, but they were like, this is really important to you. I think you go in, you record the song, and then you get like a cassette or something. Cassette tapes were in back then. So I'm dating myself. But yeah, so I was excited. They couldn't afford it, but they did it, right? Because I loved music and this is what I wanted to do. I still wanted to do it, right? I just was up on pause. And so anyways, I remember going into the studio and you go into a booth and you have your microphone, you have your headset, and there's someone, in the other room doing the sound. And I had picked a song. I'm sure it was a love song or something. But anyways, yeah. And so, I picked that song. I was waiting for the music to start. And so all of a sudden the music starts and the artist is singing with me on the track. I had never experienced that before. I don't sing with the artist. I sing on my own, right? And so that was like, oh, okay. Let me, it was just, I was inexperienced at that. So anyways, I got through the 3 minutes or whatever it was through the song, and I'm like, okay, I don't think I did terrible. It probably wasn't my best performance, but it was fine. I'm talented. I'm confident, right? I've got this. Uh, so then we left. We're walking out of the booth, and I remember as you walk out of the studio, you go out to the park. And in that area, after you're done recording, they play that song in the park or in that vicinity, right? So as we're walking out, my song comes on. Immediately, I was like, oh my God, that's not me. I was tone deaf. It was off key. Again, I had never experienced that before, right? I mean, I have never had a bad performance. And I was like, you know how when you get pulled over by a cop, and I haven't been pulled over that often, but you get that warm or hot sensation from head to toe. I was devastated. I I couldn't believe that was me, right? And my parents knew, right? I mean, they knew my talent and I knew I was talented, but that moment crushed me. And then to add to that, I remember a couple teenagers, right? My age, walk by and laughing at, oh my God, this person can't sing or something like that. I don't remember the verbatim, but I was more devastated.
Mm.
And, I don't think I cried when I was there because I've always been pretty good. Obviously, not now. I've always been pretty good at, keeping it in until I'm behind closed doors. But it killed me. And at that point, I decided I would never sing again for anybody,
Wow.
ever. And I look back and I'm like, oh my God, Amy, why did you let the opinion of others lead you or help lead you away from your dream, right? I made the choice, right? I made that decision. I am accountable for that. But I allowed the opinion of those two girls. And again, it was my choice, but I didn't sing again, as I mentioned, until years later. And it's not often.
That's something we can all relate to, that we allow some faceless, nameless person, that doesn't have any, activity in our life or add any value to our life, to impact major decisions because of, what would you say, the fear of public opinion or the opinions of others. What do you think was the catalyst behind that?
Yeah, I think we are fearful of opinions, right? I think I've gotten better with age and with experience. And I don't regret giving. I mean, I still sing. I shower and car and whatever, and I have sang at a couple weddings since then and karaoke or what have you. But um, you know, I think we need to really, as we communicate with each other, and especially social media, etc., really need to kind of be careful of what we say and how we say things to one another, because you're right. I mean, granted, it was my choice, right? But the opinion pushed me to not pursue it. Right. I just gave up, and I should have never given up, but I did. Right. And that was my choice. But, I think it's important for us to not really worry about what other people think. And I think as I look back, that has helped me, um, continue to be successful in business, right? And even in my real estate career, I do appreciate feedback. I value feedback. But if I have a mission and a vision, and, I'm going to take it, but I'm still going to do what I wanted to do. Right. And so I think maybe deep down that helped me, or that was the start of me really building that confidence in, okay, that's your opinion. I'm okay with that. You have opinions, and everybody has that right. But for me, for what I'm looking to do, I'm going to do my thing. Right. And, yeah, and hope it works out.
No, I watched you do that, on almost a daily basis. You essentially put blinders on, and you absolutely take in input, and you take in, information and insight from other people, and you process that through a really great filter of, is this their opinion? Is this a value? Is this truth? And I think that's a huge one. Is what this person is saying to me truth? Is this person's opinion about my business truth? Is this person's opinion about me as a person truth? Or is it simply their opinion? And you can use that as a gauge to make your decisions. And I love watching you do that. And I think that's where you say, age, maturity, life experiences. I mean, granted, as a young, impressionable 16-year-old, you didn't have that. And that makes me really sad for that 16-year-old. Really proud of you now, but really sad for that 16-year-old, because you could have had a professional singing career. Like, you absolutely, of every human being I know, you absolutely could have. And the fact that you didn't is sad for the world.
Oh, you're sweet. And again, I don't regret, right? This drove me into another direction, into my corporate America experience, success, right? And, I've learned so much along the way, and it's helped with the corporate America experience. It's, that business acumen, it's the analytical skill set, it's the relationships. And, so I don't regret my path. I have been successful. I have more to do, right? I think we all do. But I think the important takeaway here is really, don't let the opinion of others change your direction or your dreams. I did, unfortunately. And again, my choice, but again, the opinions helped push me there. But yeah, don't give up. Yeah, and we can be anything that we want to be, right? Just with hard work and focus, you can do it. But that sets us up for next week. Next week, I am going to start talking about my corporate America experience. A lot of ups and downs. I've had really good success in my entire career within the corporate America world. But yeah, I think a lot of lessons learned.
Really looking forward to it. Cannot wait till next week. And until next week, we hope everyone has a wonderful week. And we'll see
Yes,
you back next Friday.
perfect.